Come on in the room. Okay. Just want to make sure you can see me. There we go. Okay. Come on in the room. Spread the word. Spread the word. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Good evening, everyone. I hope that you are still enjoying the energy that we created last night. And so I just want us to get ready for another meditation together. But I want to set it up, of course. So let me not tarry waiting for people to come into the room. Get back to, now I can see you. Okay, wonderful. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome. So just want to remind people where we are. And one of the things that I realized that I didn't do yesterday, because I know we are all coming from all walks of life, okay? And what that means is people may not know what this means. So when I post about it or when other people are making comments about it, we may not know what this season is. And let me give you a little context. First of all, I'm LaTanya Taylor, affectionately known as the Juicy Spirit Mama. Well, first of all, affectionately known as the Rev Coach, the Juicy Spirit Mama, the priestess of purpose, pleasure, and passion. And greetings to everyone who's coming in the room. It's so good to have you here with us tonight. And so, I just jump right in and start talking because many of you, we're familiar, but we have a lot of new people who are coming in from different places, from all over the world, some who participate in the comments, some who don't, just because it's good to have people who have good jobs and are posted in certain places. So I want to welcome everyone because I just want to tell all the sisters how much you carry so much of the energy for so many sisters who are watching, who are learning how to be free, who are learning how to ask questions, women who are learning how that they are the secret, the best kept secret in all of the traditional religions. And, for a long time, I shared a lot about it, a lot of context, a lot of history right on my page. But as I began to do more of this work of the divine feminine in myself with others, it continues to be the gift that keeps on giving. Now, I'm born in springtime, so of course I have an affinity for this season. Whatever season you're born in, you typically have some connection with that season. Pay attention because that will tell you some things about your blueprint and your enoughness. And so what I want you to understand is that this is a sacred season. It's a sacred season every year. We are on a natural grid of energy that has been usurped by man, just like religion, renamed and called something else. And so there were practices that farmers did, that medicine men and women did, that women did in honor of their own bodies during this season. So even when we look at the 40 days of Lent, Catholics are practice giving up something for these 40 days. Some people give up cursing. Some people go on the Daniel fast. You don't just have to be Catholic to participate in sacred seasons. And that's the misnomer. Those are the things that we aren't told, that we have permission to experience and express God in us, in the sacredness in us, as us, the way that we need to in different seasons of your life. What season of your life are you in right now in 2021? Get coming off of 2020. What season are you in? How did you handle the interruption? See, because how you handle the interruption, how I handled the interruption, told us a lot about our spiritual gifts. It told us a lot about some of the energy in our bloodline, because we had to come in close contact with family. We had to lean in, and many of us in the West have forgotten how to be cooperative. We have been taught individualism, but this is a season where it is very important for you to know, because you have a vision. You have things that you want to manifest. You have vision. You have a vision. Many of you have a vision for your family, for yourself, for your health, for your wealth. You have something that you have in your mind, and you know, we get programmed to think that January is the Gregorian calendar, is the real flow of things. However, it's not. It really isn't. And the same clock that governs the universe governs your body, sis. And so every one of these seasons, these 4 seasons, are represented in the woman, in the divine feminine. Somebody just put the best kept secret. You are the best kept secret in all of the major religions, and particularly you melanated women, because our image has been usurped and lightened, and erasure is a real issue for women who impacted governments, empires, history. Women's history is not limited to the story and the narrative that where you have been omitted. And so the mother energy, when we talk of the mother energy, when we talk of Mother's Day, she's everywhere. And so there's no way to celebrate Easter and not look at your genealogy, look at yourself as a woman. There's no way for you, if you're coming into this space of freedom, of womanly sovereignty, there's no way for you to continue as if you don't know. You can pretend like Mary is a minor figure, but there would be no Jesus as we know it if there were no Mary. And so if mathematically we're told to respect our elders, but we worship in reverse, and it sets off a lot of other energies as well. And so so those of you who are very Jesus focused, I want you to elevate and to consider Christ consciousness, even as this week, as we're talking about wholeness. Why Christ consciousness? Christ means to be crystallized as one. Christ, the crusher, to be crystallized. See, many of us have not been crystallized. We resist the crystallization process, right? I know that I'm going to teach on Friday, but it's just very important for us to have a context of why we do what we do, not just to be a part of some goddess feel good energy that does nothing for you when you need to materialize for yourself and for your family, when you need to move out of cycles and you recognize you've awakened. Because when you awaken, sis, it does not mean that everybody else is awakened. When you awaken, it does not mean that you know the people who you love the most are on the same page with you. And so when you awaken, your issues don't just go away. Your issues don't just disappear because you awaken, but it's what do you do with your awakenings, and they happen on different level. If many of us, let me ask you something real quick. And this will help some of the sisters. I know I'm moving a lot. I got a lot of energy. I'm going to settle down for the meditation, but I intentionally put this on because, you know, it gets cool at night. So listen, for those of you who have been on a journey for a minute, right? On this journey, this womanly journey, this spiritual journey, this health journey, especially if you've been on for 3 years or more. Let's just start 3 years or more. How many of you? Let's see who's in the room. I don't want. I've already gone 15 minutes, but we need a warm up to have some context of enough, having and being enough. Would you agree? So that when we do our meditation, we know what we are planting in this very fertile Venus energy of Libra, even though it's a releasing energy. And let me give you some context about that. Yesterday we did a releasing exercise. The full moon began, it was full on Sunday. You have about 3 days before and 3 days after to continue to work with the energy of the full moon. So you may still be releasing even from last night. So I hope some of you gave yourself permission to continue the process of burning bay leaves if something came to you that you forgot about. Okay, it's okay. What you don't want to do, though, is start getting into it, because some of us are slow, like, oh, I want to get into it now. Some of us are slow to jump into it. What you don't want to do is start when it's not the optimal time, because the moon changes. And that's why when we look at nature, you can see the woman, you're the only creature that has 4 seasons. You are the only creature that has 4 seasons. And this triple goddess energy is the energy that we can see in the seasons. Okay? Because one of these energies represents 2 seasons for womanhood. We can talk about that later. But when we look at the springtime of this means we're looking at fertility, ovulation, when you're ripe, when you're sexual, when you're turned on. Your fertility time is the best time, the most optimal time to get pregnant. Now, if that shows up in your body, okay, then is it showing up in your mind? Is it showing up in your heart? Is it showing up with the activities that you do to match? Are you matching the activities of this unlimited abundance? I could talk more about Easter, and on Friday I will, to give more context. But today we won't be too long on enough. Okay. Thank you for giving me permission to teach a little bit, because we have people from all walks of life. And what we've done, male and female, is many of us have been in survival mode for so many generations that we don't know the normal of being able to attract, to call to us, to shift energy. So when we talk about enough, I want to use an analogy for enough. But before I do that, I said I was going to ask a question. So let me ask, how many of you are really new to this journey? What I mean new is 2 years or less. 2 years or less. When you first did any type of study of yourself, personal development work, how many of you have started this journey 2 years or less? Okay. How many of you have been on this journey, whether it's your opening to your feminine, redefining your life? No, don't just say me. Put the numbers in. Put the numbers in. Thank you. Don't just say me. So if it's 2 years or less, put that in there. If it's 3 to 5 years. Now, those of you who have been on the journey 5 to 7 years, and I already know the answer. Anybody's been on this journey 10 years. But if you've been on this journey of awakening, of rebirthing, redefining yourself, redesigning your life, right? If you knew what you know now, if all of what you know now had been revealed to you in the first 1 or 2 years, what would have happened? What would happen if those of you have been on the journey 5 to 7 years? I'm asking you first. What would have happened if what you know now would have been revealed to you in the first 1 or 2 years? I want to know. Talk back to me. And I'm talking about whether it be about God, whether it be about sex, whether it be about money, whether it be any of it. In other words, there are some things I wasn't even ready to know. And I'm still learning. And I'm still fascinated. How many of you who have been on the journey 7 to 10 years, maybe even 15 years, if you had, how many of you have started and stopped? How many of you have doubted and said, I must not be doing enough? Or how many of you had moments where you even said, this ish does not work? It doesn't work. So I'm asking you these questions because I want to say something when we talk about enough. Okay. When we talk about enough and in relationship to wholeness, you can't talk about enough without talking about not enough. Not enough is a very covert activity. And it's rewarded in societies, in industries, in institutions that are performance-based and externally focused. Somebody catch that. Performance-based and externally focused. So let's just say when we're talking about not enough, we're talking about capacity. But there's two types of enough that I want to deposit here for you today. Now, I teach my clients this in deeper. When we look at personality, we look at our blueprint, our natal chart. When I do a workup for you, you'll see why you make certain decisions and why you work like you do, why money goes through your hand, or why you're not connecting with your abundance, or what stops you from standing up, speaking up, showing up. What causes you to shut down? I want to give you an analogy. I know you all have heard this analogy possibly, but let's talk about capacity. On every bottle, anything you purchase, it tells you what it is, what size it is. Gallon. This is a gallon. When we talk about enough, let's use this gallon. We talk about enough. Now, somebody may look at this and say and see, as we all know, that the glass, so to speak, is half empty. Or you go pick it up, it's heavy. You see it's light because of the way I'm flinging it around. Some of us, our energy is too lightweight as well. We're not filled with anything. We're empty on the inside. And so therefore, we keep on swinging, doing. And so we look at what we want to have, and many of us do more. We try to do more, perform more. But when you are thinking about enough, I want you to think about this really quickly. Are you performing based on the filters that enough, not enough has created? Are you going for what you have in a way that's in survival mode, in a way that's not merciful? I forgot I was supposed to be recording on IG, and I totally forgot to go on to IG Live today, because it was supposed to be IG Live's turn to get a little bit of this. Oh goodness, me and technology, boy, I forget about these things. But so when we look at enough, okay, many of us cannot spot not enough or not good enough because it is rewarded. But when it stops rewarding us, it's when we get stuck, when we find ourselves in a pattern, right? You're doing everything that you did before to be rewarded for being, in your mind, enough. Okay. Now I want to use this analogy again. Will you allow me to use this? Someone will look at this and see that it's more almost empty and say, I don't want it. You with me? Or somebody say, give me that last swig. Another person may see this and say, it's refillable. Ooh, that's good right there. It's refillable. Now, how you look at what the contents that's in here depends on the filters of your enoughness. And your filter enough creates activity of always trying to compensate. So if I take a glass and I try to fill this glass with this, if it's full and I just keep pouring, it's going to overflow. If it's empty and I put everything in here, that's from here, then I'm going to need to refill it or get it from another source. I hope you hear some of your story and your filters, because I'm really not trying to teach. I want you to just be able to spot it. I mean, I'm teaching, but I'm not trying to process you, but I want you to get into the habit of processing yourself so you can put more value on doing small things, incremental things, like knowing the season, getting tapped in, and tuned up, so that you'll have enough for yourself. Because many of us may have had a parent that looked like they were operating at full capacity. We may have had a teacher that looked like they were full to capacity, but they could have been empty or tainted, not clear. And so here we are looking for someone that only has this much to give, to pour into our heart that is gallon size. You may have a vision that's gallon size. You may have a calling that's gallon size. Do you all understand where I'm going with this? And so you keep looking to be filled from somewhere else that does not even have the capacity, or it may not have the contents. Because water is programmable, while we're using this analogy, and our bodies are more than 70% water. So therefore, we are all programmable. And not enough and not good enough they're kind of like twins or kissing cousins. Because not enough is based on identity. Not good. So in other words, Not enough, excuse me, is based off of the quantity. So you tend to do more. So when I say that it's being compensated, I know I'm teaching in here tonight. But when I say it's about being compensated, those of you who do more, get paid less, do more, but not compensated by the loved one that you're depositing into, loaning money to, being, come on now. And so so here we are now, overcompensating when you are functioning in not enough. Now, not good enough says, I don't want that water. It's not clear, because it's talking about what's inside. You hear what I'm saying? Not enough is talking about the quantity. Not good enough is talking about the quality. So if you're a person that's always finding fault with something, picking things apart, if you're a person that's judgmental, that's always trying to be right, or talk about who's wrong, if you need to win arguments, come on now, am I walking down your street for this meditation that we're doing? See, some of us try to just go through the motions, but we don't make the connection between our own mind, body, spirit, and heart. You feel me? You feel me? This will bless right here. I've already been going a half hour. I wasn't even trying to do that. But I want you to have context, because you are the sacred container, and your capacity continues to expand and to increase by your word. In the beginning was the word. And some books say, and the word was with God, but some books say it was made whole. So where have you been undercompensated? It's still a little full moon energy for you to look at what's not enough. Now, if you're on the list, I sent you out an exercise to prepare you for tonight. How many of you got the notice that we were going live tonight? Huh? and how to prepare. I'm going to be sending them out. Make sure that however you came into this group, that you are connected to via email, and it's in the description. And I probably need to add it. Keela, if you're here, you can add it in the comments so that you can be on the Rebirth Woman list. And when we get into this Rebirth exclusive community, it'll be so much easier to communicate and alert you and all of that. Good. Thank you for those who said you received it. The Rebirth Sunday crew is in the house tonight. The Rebirth Sunday crew is in the house. So now, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you clear? If you got the exercise, what I said is write down at least 7 things that you are releasing around not enough or not good enough, so that when you come in here tonight, you could fill in during this meditation, see, feel, and imagine. I'm not going to talk as much through this meditation. I really want you to feel and see yourself as a vessel. Your vessel may have been bigger than the capacity of your own parents, but you are still, so you came with a design and a destiny. Give thanks for that enoughness. In other words, there's power in finding enoughness, even when it did not serve you or compensate you, because gratitude always attracts more. When you can flip it and see how what you didn't have caused you to go in search for it. Now, some of you are still searching, still in denial. Maybe you need to come in for a consultation or holler at your girl in the comments. But for those of you who know what can feel this in your spirit, I hope you've been writing as I've been talking. I want you to do the number 7, because 7 is a number of completion just here in this space. As I'm talking now, even if it's one thing, one pattern that's been difficult to break: alcohol, sexual addiction, religious addiction. I'm going to talk about religious addiction on Friday. It's a real addiction. It's a real addiction that feeds performance-based relationship with God. So when you think that you don't perform, you aren't performing for God. If you are thinking that you are not going to be pleasing to God, if you think that I'm just a sinner, then you will keep on singing the Negro spirit. I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain. It's time to reprogram that. Okay, let's take a few minutes now just to you now that you've been I talked through that so you can write down 7 things at least. There probably are more. If there are more, write 7 more. You all know the science of 7. Go check it out on the website. And if you feel like it's still coming in the places where you feel compensated, where you've been overcompensated, write 7 more until you are clear. And now you can invite in 7 more ways for you to for enoughness to show up. 7 more ways for you to shift. 7 commitments that you'll make to operate in enoughness, because being always precedes doing and having. I'm going to stop right there. So let's go into beingness tonight. Let's go into beingness tonight. It's really bright. I like for the lights to be turned down for the meditation a little bit. If you don't mind, I want to turn these lights down a bit. Okay. Now I want you to just take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you're watching me, this is a good time to close your eyes, disconnect your brain. What I do recommend for those of you who feel this, because sometimes our cognitive doesn't catch up sometimes when it's about us, because so many of us focus on everyone else, is to take a bath, a nice hot Epsom salt filled bath, if that's the basics that you have. If you don't have that, just a hot bath is enough. If you have any type of milks, that's a great one. Not too hot when you use the milk, but we can talk about that. But a nice hot bath to soak in your enoughness after we complete this. Okay. Am I going too long? Because I know I'm going past the 30-minute mark, but it's going to be so quick. We'll be done in a moment. Okay. So again, what I want you to do, if you have your list that you wrote in preparation for tonight, I want you to take the list, and I want you to sit it somewhere where you can have your right hand on it. Okay. All right. So just take a breath again. Close your eyes. That's enough setup. We're going to move through this easy and effortlessly under grace. So close your eyes, in through your nose, out through your mouth. 3 times. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Bring to mind the opposite of everything that you've been trying to prove, everything you've been fighting for. Can you see yourself in joy and love? Do you enjoy your own company? Take a breath. See, feel, and imagine that in the center of your head where your soft spot is like a baby.
Myself in joy and love. I know.
See, feel, and imagine
I am enough.
that above you
I see myself
is a ray of white light.
I know myself. I am.
See the white light now going right into the center of that soft spot. It actually is still there.
Joy and love. I know myself. I am enough.
This is the light consciousness of clarity. This is healing light.
I know.
This is the light of oneness and love that Bob Marley sings about.
I see myself in joy and love. I know myself.
In through your nose. The moment you get distracted, just breathe.
Myself in joy and love. I know.
Now see, feel, and imagine that the white light is filling your skull, the inside, and moving on the inside of you, right underneath the layer of your skin, filling in your skull and your brain. Stop at your third eye. Let the light touch in your third eye. And now let the light circle like a circle 8 around your eyes. See, feel, and imagine. The light begins to just move down through your body. Pay a little attention to your throat, your mouth. What words have you spoken? Have they been enough words? Have they been too little? Have they been words of wholeness? Let the light clear it.
I see myself in joy and love. I know myself. I
Keep breathing.
am in love.
Pull it down through the rest, through your heart. Oh, let it just fill your heart.
I know myself. I am in love.
Sometimes people may have judged your heart and not knowing how sensitive you are, how deeply you feel. And so you had to protect it. Some of you are natural givers, but you've been looking for your return from somewhere else. Bless your heart. That's what the old people say. Now let the light continue to move down into your solar plexus, the place of our identity, our intuition. Right here is where we often don't feel enough. This is where we carry padding, digestion. We don't like what's going on sometimes, but we have to find a way to digest it. And it's not digested. So fill it with light. Yes. Now let the light move into your sacral chakra, your creative center. If guilt and shame has lived here, give light permission to fill your womb space, your pelvic area if it's a man watching. Let your womb be recharged. See, feel, and imagine your womb being flooded with light, watery white light. Now let that watery light flow down into your roots, the root chakra, the place where those heavy held beliefs live. Now down through your legs, let it keep on flowing, let it keep on flowing. Let that light now just be like liquid in your body. Oh yeah, let it water your roots and order your feet and your steps. Set the intention with light. Oh yes, wherever I step, it's on fertile ground. Oh yeah. Yeah. I call in the wholeness from above and from below. Yeah. Y'all know when I get to stomping, that's when my people are moving. Oh, anybody that's done a workshop with me knows what I'm talking about. But if you're in meditation, just stay there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. And breathe. And breathe. Yes. Don't rush out. We rush too much. Stay right there. Marinate in your juiciness. I want you to hear these words as we close out. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy. Can you see it? And love. I know myself, I am enough. Because if you can see it, then you can allow the vision to pull you forward instead of letting pain be what pushes you towards the life that you want to live. Slowly wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If your eyes are still closed, move your body a little bit. I kind of cheated when I started stomping my feet to bring myself to here now on earth, to ground myself, because, this energy wakes me up and it takes me a while to settle down. I haven't really slept because there's so much flowing through me, currents and currents of downloads, and holding this space for Friday. It's been a long time since I've ministered in this way, and ministering with my sisters in this way is our love offering. And I want you to join us on Friday and continue. So I'll be here at 1:00 tomorrow. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do a 9:00. What I might do is record something for you. But I don't know if I'm going to tax myself that way because I haven't had much sleep. I've been too busy being a vessel. And so just know you're enough. And if this triggered you or pricked your consciousness in any way, know that it's no accident. You were here tonight for a reason. There was something that you heard, you felt that you needed to hear, feel, or see. If there's questions that you have, ask them. But I just want to encourage you to be, do, and have in that order. And tomorrow we'll talk about how we can serve the vision in this season. Because what? It feels like something is blooming. It's me. It's me. Is it you? If it's you, put it's me and make sure you show up on Friday at 1:00. I love you all. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. I pray that that love fills you to the overflow, pressed down, shaken up, and running over. I pray that love will return to you in places where you feel like you've been undercompensated, where it's been stolen, where it's been withheld from you. That you can give it to yourself and allow yourself to experience it from other places. Because I can promise you that you cannot be God in you as you given, no matter how hard you try. When I thought that I wasn't good enough or not enough, and I have gone between both, couldn't even see it because I was too busy. So some of you, just in this moment of sitting down, congratulations. I love you and good night. We'll see each other tomorrow. Ciao.